Mike.
All right, we're gonna call this meeting to order. The approval of the previous meeting minutes. Can I get a
There was,
motion?
no, there's a correction.
No, there's a correction.
Nick wasn't here last month? Nick,
Shepherd,
yeah, and Zach was.
Nick Shepherd.
Yep, it's marked him as present. And Zach was here.
Okay,
I'll second the amended motion and done amendment.
okay. All approve? Aye.
Aye.
Perfect. All right, no public comments? Hearing? No. All right. Facilities, Austin and Brady. Okay. Zach is not with us tonight.
He did text me. I don't know why not me and you, and sent his apologies. His wife is sick and not feeling well, so he's home with the kids.
Okay. All right, we're gonna go to the map items. Troy? Got anything for map?
Good till October.
Okay. Guess we're gonna go to the fair wrap-up items. What we were talking about, last month with, fair wrap-up, how everything went. We were going to look through any changes, that we want to try to make or, to the next year. Is that correct? This thing is, this is weird.
We met with Deb on Friday and just found where our numbers were different from hers. She was missing a little bit of our information. We were missing a little bit of her information. She can speak to this too if she'd like, but it's printed out in your packet. And we're projecting that $45,000 loss. Then two NTPA checks came in for around 7,000 and change each. And then there's a few more thousand that she wasn't projecting on per diems that equated to around a $13,000 difference, but it's still showing at about 34,000. And if anybody wants to go into any specifics, we can all talk about it.
Is that total 2025 projected? Does that mean for 26 or
No,
no?
that
What is
that's if there's,
Through the end of the year, December 31st.
Oh, okay,
What we're looking at.
just so I understood it. Yep.
that's anything that hasn't hit the books that we are projecting. That if there's a check still coming in or that sort of thing. This is through August. So anything that is hit since August goes in the year to date, and then anything projected, we hard punched in something that we deposited in September, but isn't showing in August, and that's kind of that gap.
Okay. I just wanted to bring you up to date on a couple things. The Lions Club, you haven't received that check yet? Okay, and we have one vendor that we can't account for their payment of 501. One sponsor that we can't account for their sponsorship check, so that was $501. Did you update those? Those are included in the numbers, Austin?
If we talked about them Friday, they're
They're
included.
included. Okay, just want to make sure. Also, I wanted to let you know that we did lose a $3,000 sponsor that pulled out at the last minute due to the economy, which that would have helped towards our deficit. Also, the carnival charged us a fuel surcharge, which they've never done in the past, and it's not in our contract. It was $5,306. And GFL had a fuel surcharge this year that they have never charged before either. That was $1,344.60. So
What was that?
GFL, the garbage. Yeah, they charged a fuel surcharge also. Yes,
So if, like with the carnival, if it was like that $5,000 surcharge and it wasn't in the contract?
Yep.
Why did we pay it?
we didn't pay it.
Yeah.
They deducted it from what they paid us. And I asked him about it and he says, well, that's kind of standard this year. I'm charging everybody that. And of course, when he settled, you guys were all gone. And he was, you know, what kind of mood he was in on Sunday. So
Right.
Jim is working on drafting some information and getting in a letter. I don't know, I haven't had an update from Jim, but I've been answering a lot of questions and going back and forth with things. So that's part of what we're putting in that breach of contract that Jim was working on. And maybe Austin and Brady have more information on the carnival and where Jim is at on that, but I know that one day we must have went back and forth for about 2 hours talking and figuring things
Yeah,
out.
I just printed off the contract to get some clarification on it too. Just whatever Jim sent me here. It says this one, we're signed up for them through 2029. Is this correct?
This
Cause I
one,
thought we were signed up with them for one more year.
there was an overlap from, is this the right one? This one is.
He sent me two sheets. The other one
Yes.
was a 2022 contract signed in
that went through
2021.
25, and then there was this one. Yes, this is the one that the board approved in 2024.
That's Vinny, right?
Hmm?
The one that we did in 2024
Yes.
was Vinny.
This is
No,
Spectrum
no, no,
Carnival.
Spectrum. That was that one that we approved and decided to go. We
Yeah,
met.
down here.
Nope, that was Vinny, but this was before that. This was in 24 that we renewed Spectrums. Right. So then he had came to us, wanted a 5-year contract. And we spoke to him about that, and then we decided at the meeting, at one of the meetings, if we go back, we can find that we would go with that 5-year contract. But we felt strongly enough about the things that he's done and and talking with the Association Affairs attorney, before we ever did that with Vinny, they said, well, he's breached the contract all over the place, so. He has. No, and he's not only doing this to us. I mean, he's talking to a lot of, he's all over. So what were your,
Just in our last meeting, we thought we were signed up for one more year. And this says
no, it's
4 more
20
years.
Yeah, it was 4.
And then we still don't have a copy of the, whatever company Vinny is with
Oh,
for
okay.
their
I can get you that.
contract.
I will get,
Maybe you can get Jim that too.
okay. Jim didn't ask me for that one, so,
Yeah, any contracts we have signed for the fair would be
yep.
beneficial.
And I'm working on getting those to you, so. Rest of them.
Did corporate counsel here have any contact with Wisconsin Association of Fairs as far as their identification of breach of contract? Or is Jim saying that the only breach of contract is the fuel surcharge? That apparently I don't see anything in the contract.
It'd be a conversation with him and Deb.
Conversation with who and Deb?
Jim and Deb.
Yeah.
Jim, our corporate counsel,
Is,
is the one working with Deb on that.
Fine, but shouldn't the Fair Board know what the breach of contracts are?
And
Yep,
that's
I mean,
what we're talking about right
Yep.
now.
Okay, well,
Yep.
so I'm just asking you
if there's more.
if there's more, and they say there's more, when are we gonna find out what they're talking about?
Anything you wanna bring up that you think
No,
now would be the
she
time?
said, she said that there was a breach of contract that was identified with the Wisconsin Association of Fairs.
No, what I
No.
said is that I had contacted an attorney about our contract before I had talked to Jim after about this. Just like the day before, 2 days before, just to see if there was any other things that were out there regarding spectrum.
Like clarity.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah,
I understood it like you.
yep. But nope, I'm working with Jim on it. But I asked the question of the association whether or not they had heard any other rumblings from him or if any other fairs that came forward, and there are other fairs were also charged this fuel surcharge, also charged in excess of what his costs were that were laid out in the contracts.
Right.
So,
And there was even some discussion, I thought at one time that Spectrum had made contract with another county for the exact same time as our fair.
he was doing that, working on that, because they actually called me and wanted to know if I would recommend them. And I'm like, well, isn't your fair the same week as ours, you know? And they said, yeah. So that was the other part of it, is that he is, had said that he was gonna dump us too, so. Let's see. I got lots of notes back and forth. I don't know if you want to take the time now to go through them all, but, let's see.
Talking about financing, if it's,
Yeah, if you want to talk about that now, or,
that's what we're talking about.
okay, I'm just asking.
Yep.
Okay, and, so I sent Jim the, um, the letter that we had talked about, that we were gonna get approval to send, and then the two contracts, and I sent him. Shoot. Darn it. And I sent him the 2025 settlement. And I outlined what happened at the fairs. No fuel surcharge is mentioned in the contract, and that we were charged the 5306. Prices in the contract do not match the actual charges that our patrons paid. The mega bands to patrons for 2025 were $90 and 110 at the event. The contract's tax 80 in advance, 100 at the event. And in 2025, it's also covered in the other contract, which was even lower. The 2024 mega band was $100 in advance, 125 at the event. That contract states $60.75 at the event. Thursday Family Day, all rides are $2 per person. They only allowed it from 1 to 5 p.m. and then they switched to a wristband at the cost of $30. I ended up getting people at the window that were very upset because they brought their kids to ride when it got cooler in the night. And they wanted their money back because they had little kids and they said they wouldn't get $30 worth of rides during that time. In the past, Thursday has been our highest grossing day. Usually they stay open until the crowd pretty much leaves. This year they promptly shut down at 10 p.m. In the notes that they provided, they would indicate they would stay open until 11 on Friday and Saturday. And it's kind of worded weirdly, because the one contract at the top, it says 10 p.m. and then at the notes page by our signatures, it says 11 p.m. He did close at 4 p.m. on Sunday, contract state 6 p.m. on the bottom. The number of rides they varied, and that he has promised that we have advertised and they don't show up. We understand breakdowns, but it's been too many instances of that. I've had several fairs reach out to me regarding working with Dan. He has talked to them about signing with him during our same time as our fair. These conversations were both had before and after our fair. A fair told me that he was told that he was dropping us. Sheridan is going out, so I don't really think he's going to have a problem getting other fairs if somebody would take them. I did also go back to like 2019 and shared what our income has been from the carnival. 2019, it was 18,175. 2021, which we almost can't count because that was the year after COVID and everything was way up, but it was 32,297. 2022 was 15,500. Then we went with Spectrum in 2023 and it dropped to 11,000. Last year it was 9,000 and this year 10,000. So since we've had them, it's been a steady decline. Okay, so that was the first email that I outlined. I talked to Jim first and then he wanted me to summarize our conversation, so that's what I sent him. Then he asked me some more questions. He wanted to know if I had any evidence or and I told him because of Dan changing prices, we don't put them on our posters or our ads anymore because then we're really hung out to dry because it doesn't match what he's charging at the ticket box. Our website showed what the advertising was. I also had feedback from, I downloaded or found instances on Facebook posts where we responded. They also do not post any prices on their website. Then, let's see, I had one more. He also wondered about the $2 rides on Thursday. Somebody had written to us, asked us what the rides were on Thursday and if it was Kids Day. And I responded, yes, Kids Days is on Thursday, all rides at $2, which is what it states. And then somebody wrote back and said, sadly, it's not true. They ended at 6 p.m. Was a huge disappointment. And so I provided that to Jim. And then I hadn't, that's where we're at. And I haven't heard back from Jim now with any more questions.
Can I add?
Yes.
So, prediction.
What?
Oh, yeah. So how do we make money off the carnival?
It's right there, but.
He pays.
Yeah, he
He pays
does
us.
the 25%, right?
Yep,
So it
25,
costs us nothing to have them come in
correct.
and they give us 25%.
Right, plus the $1,500 for insurance, they give us that, and $500 for ads to
I
help
was just
with
wondering if
advertising.
there was a cost of the carnival. No, I was just wondering in the past, I'm like, do we have to pay the carnival something
No.
to come in or not, or is it?
No,
free
we
and
always
we
make
get a
money
percentage
from
of
them.
it? Okay.
We get a percentage.
I haven't talked to Vinny yet, right? Did we get a contract from him?
Yep,
Yeah.
we
okay.
did when we approved that
Right,
before.
but,
His is at 25 also.
25,
Yep, it's the same.
I thought it was at 20, to be honest with you. That's
Oh,
why I was
okay.
making
Nope,
sure
I
that was-
negotiated and said 25, so, yep. And that was all in here when after he was here, and then we talked about that. His wristbands are all going back down to like more normal price, $75 for the mega.
Yeah, so,
Yep. Wristbands, $30.
and if I'm not mistaken, his was all through a card, right?
Yes, his will be a card. We'll be able to track it daily, pull up reports. None of this, not knowing, because Dan would never provide information to us. He never came to any of our meetings except for this year when he knew that it was questionable.
So I guess on that, guess when we have him here on the next meeting, we can talk about how that card system works. Cause you, Austin, said we do have Wi-Fi through, or can
Yep.
get it through the
Yeah,
fair.
there should be. You'll get wide lights.
So all the entrances?
Yes.
Okay.
Did you reach out to Aaron or did Aaron contact you? He had called me about it, so I had mentioned then. I think what he was doing was going back to his marketing team first, because I think he's thinking they might provide that as a sponsorship when I talked to him. Yep, so that's probably why he hasn't reached out to you, because he was in connection with me during the fair about it. So then when I turned off the internet at the office, he he called me back and said that he was meeting, if we were still interested, and I said, absolutely. I do know that we had a couple people that did, drive up and they saw the QR code on the sign on the ticket booth, and then they went on the website and they liked, and then they just showed the gate their little receipt. So it'll be great if we can, yes.
Any more questions about the carnival?
One more.
Yep, go ahead, Larry.
What's our drop dead date for determining whether we have an availability for a different organization or not? I mean, when does I'm not familiar with the names, Dan and Vinnie.
Oh, yep,
Yep. It's Badger.
Carnival number 2
yep.
needs to know our intentions when.
It's
Yeah.
already done.
We signed that contract last October.
Okay.
And then this meeting that we're having, we're gonna ask Vinny to come in, either October or November meeting is what was discussed at the last meeting. To have him come and present to us, what he's bringing and the expectations, how his card system works. And so everybody's comfortable with it.
Who makes the decision on whether we have a breach of contract or not that releases us from the next 4 or 5
Number
years?
one? Or you're talking?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Who does that?
great question.
I would assume that would probably be Jim reaching
Yeah.
out to that carnival with a drafted letter, dissolving the contract, I would imagine, but it's kind of up to,
But I mean, is, he has, there's no upside for him to cooperate with us.
Who, Jim?
Carnival we're trying to drop has no
Dan.
obligation to do anything other than just make our life miserable.
If he.
So I mean, even though corporate counsel goes to him and says, this is this, this is this, and this is this, he can say, too bad, see you in court.
and that could possibly happen.
Mhm.
I would assume at that point, Corp Counsel will take care of anything that happens.
Yeah, but we still don't know.
No, we don't. Yeah, we
Okay.
won't know until we
Yeah.
get, either a response from the previous,
I think what Larry's trying to ask too is when do we think that response is coming?
Oh,
I mean, does he have a deadline or?
yeah, well, he was working on it pretty much then, and he said he was hoping to get it done shortly, and he asked me if the Fair Board wanted to. Oops, we got too many on. That if the Fair Board wanted to send a letter, and I told him I'd feel more comfortable, and I thought it would have more teeth if it came from him.
Well, it has to come from him. I mean, we have to deal with this through corporate counsel, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I do know that Vinny is, from what I understand from talking to other fairs, is that he's tentatively signed somebody else for a week. Not Vinny, Dan,
Dan.
sorry. So, well, Sheridan, Dave and Kim are retiring. They're selling their rides. So if anybody wants to get in the carnival business, now's your chance. So there are fairs that need carnivals. So that's the other thing that kind of is in our favor a little bit, so. We do that on the side.
Okay. All right, any more questions, Larry? You
No, thank you.
Okay. We're gonna move, unless you have any more financials you want to talk about.
No, we just, we had a really long meeting on Friday. I think it went till 5:30, but, really went through a lot of stuff. I think that's probably it, so. We're still working on it. I'm still working with Beata on it. There was a, we got this, and then Beata sent me an updated one today, so. After, there was another meeting today that I couldn't attend.
Okay, we're gonna move to the bylaws. Has everybody had a chance to review them? Yeah.
Any changes in the? Of the whole. Or in the treasurer's area.
Yeah.
uh,
I think if you don't mind, Austin, just real quick.
Okay. Yeah, this is just saying that a few things that we're already doing, but a lot, I mean, there wasn't much to the Fairboard for bylaws before, so just looking to give some direction to it. And operates under the supervision of the Facilities Committee of the County Board. Facilities Committee reviews and approves policies and procedures adopted by the Fair Board. The membership, if this is something that you'd like to adjust or anything like that, we can. But one member of the Dunn County Board of Supervisors was appointed by the county board's organizational meeting in April of even-numbered years for a term of 2 years. 8 citizen members appointed by the county board chair with approval of the county board, serving staggered 3-year terms. Ex officio members shall include the Fair Board treasurer and the UW Extension 4-H program educator.
Isn't he on there already?
No, he's just served,
Zach.
Zach, in the past, he's been like an advisor, not a member of the board.
Yeah, that was something that, when we were discussing this, we added it if you wanted it. So that way the 4-H has some,
Well,
it gets somebody involved from 4-H, whether it be that,
I guess he's already here, right?
yeah, that's
So
what they were.
I guess it doesn't hurt to
Yep.
have him more involved.
Yep, and I
Really
think
good
that
idea.
opens up one more.
Okay.
Does that give him a vote though?
That's my.
No.
Yeah.
Ex official.
What's that? Yeah.
So what about FFA advisors? What about the other youth groups? I know, but I'm just thinking, I'm just going.
I was wondering on the membership too, like with the secretary. Cause I know we've talked about trying to get like a younger generation
Yeah,
coming in, or some younger kids, that if we could have a younger person be our secretary, that I would, if you put an age gap in there, right, that they could be your secretary, but they would be a not voting member also, but maybe could get them involved with the fair board at the same time.
maybe we just changed, an easy change to that then would be ex officio member shall include the Fair Board treasurer and secretary. Then
I think that'd be great.
and I think that would still, you'd gain one person. So you'd maintain your 8 and you'd have the treasurer and UW extension or secretary. And I don't know if you can put a age limit on that or not. I don't know, but that's over my,
Yeah, probably not, but
yeah,
yeah, I would just say if you just put the
but if
secretary.
you,
If we
it was-
appointed, if they were already an appointed
Yep.
member
yep,
and wanted to be the secretary, that'd be different, but if they just wanted to be the
Yeah. so you make that. So instead of the UW extension program educator, just slash it out and say, secretary.
What does the rest of the board feel about that?
I think the younger person is a great idea.
Yes.
Okay.
We're not gonna get forever out of that.
Nope.
I am.
Treasurer is spelled wrong. Can we get that done?
Top of the next page.
That has
Oh.
done the composition.
First page, composition. Yep. No, again, sorry, page one, please.
Page one.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, sorry, it's right there. That's. Yep, get that. Okay,
I have to do. Under removal, it said that any member of the Fair Board, with the exception of the ex-official officers and members of the board, may be removed by a majority vote. Why, how would you remove
Where
an
is that?
ex-official? Number 4, on page, under Article 3.
Okay,
I'm just curious. I'm just going by other Fair Board bylaws that I know about, and, it says that a member of the Fair Board, with the exception of the ex-official members and members of the board, may be removed by a majority vote.
and
I
what's,
I guess I didn't understand the question, the statement, for sure.
I think it's just saying on how you, if you have somebody, an issue with somebody on the board, how do you remove them?
Remove
Ex
'em.
official officers don't have a vote or whatever, so I guess. But should the ex officials, like your secretary and treasurer, be included in on that, that they could get voted
Yeah.
off by a majority if they're not doing what they need to be doing?
That's what I'm wondering.
I would just say if you take out
that's fine.
I'd take out the word exception out of there.
Just maybe take out the whole,
That whole,
that whole.
Yeah, take out that whole phrase.
Just any member of the Fair Board may be
Right.
removed by a majority vote.
Okay.
I'm
then-
just trying to protect us. I'm
So
sorry.
are we doing a majority or are we gonna do 2/3?
Yeah,
Cause
It was on that last one, it said.
the other one was a 2/3 vote.
It's your,
Yeah.
it's your choice. It's, we looked into that too, and, I think the only one that, when we were trying to write these with Andrew, he needed a 2/3 versus a majority, but he said he didn't know any other instances, but, we,
Yeah.
So should be good there.
okay, yeah, we can
No,
change,
there's a difference between majority, cause majority is 51%.
we can change it to 2/3.
It's whatever the group, I
What
say
is
it's
the-
whatever we want, do, if we're good with 51%, be able to vote somebody off, or do you want it 2/3? It don't. I'm just asking the question, cause the old one was 2/3. So.
Anybody else have a comment about that?
My only question is, right now, there's 8 board members. So it could be split 50-50 and then nothing happens. So if you
But
make it,
that's where the president, I would have the final vote on that to break it.
8 is Nick. Right, we can have, I'm just saying, right now we have 8, because that was one thing I was thinking about in some of the voting is how do you do that so that it's not always,
Yeah, but Derek, that's what the president does not have a vote unless it's a tie
Okay.
in most situations.
Would you like to have it 2/3 vote, or you're good with the wording, or what do you guys think?
I'm good with where it is.
I'm good with it.
I'm okay.
Okay, Article 4, officers. Board shall elect from among its members, the president, vice president, secretary, and treasurer. Duties, president presides at meetings, provides leadership, serves as spokesperson. Vice president assists the president and presides in their absence. Secretary maintains meeting minutes and records. Treasurer, option 2, county finance staff treasurer. The treasurer may be elected from among the appointed Fair Board members or may be designated as a Dunn County Finance Department or Facilities Department staff member. If the treasurer is a finance department or facilities department staff member, they shall serve as a non-voting ex officio officer of the board. In such case, the fair board member shall be designated as a finance liaison to ensure financial accountability to the board. And yeah. But
I got big opinions on this. Um, if you'd ask me right now, the problem that the Dunn County Fair Board has is that the amount of money turned in or the amount of money that was, the fair did not gain, did not collect. And I don't know if X number went from the Fair Board and went into the county, or if the Fair Board did not produce the numbers that the county thought. If there was ever a gap in your county government and your county board officials or of county board supervisors, that is as wide as how little information seems to get from one group to the other, I don't know what it would be. I mean, I listen to county board supervisors talk about how many county fairs are there in the county. Are there any left? Are there any county fairs left in the county? They ask that kind of question. And they're sincere. And then, and I see it more than one year that it scrambles almost right to the end on who we got working finance. Who's counting that money, who's collecting it, and who turns it into the county. It's people seem to know their job, but I certainly don't know their job. But if the county is going to become aware of what goes on at the county board, if Dunn County is going to be aware of what goes on at the Dunn County Fair, they're going to have somebody in the office listening to the people at the window, collecting the money, banding the money, counting it, and delivering it. And I don't know if you got people that want to do that job, and I don't think the treasurer wants to do that job. She doesn't want to hang out there for 5 days, but she certainly could designate somebody. We need to have the two groups come together and know what each other expects to be done and what is being done. Right now, we're doing this, they're doing this, and when they come together, this happens. We're screwed up. We got to stop being screwed up. We got to start treating this as a business, and it's tax. I'm a son of a gun for taxpayer money. This is taxpayer money. This is taxpayer money, and people that come into the grounds and don't pay, they're stealing from Dunn County, and I don't like that. Deb has on her desk laminated free passes to get into the fair, except they're not for this year. So there's no extent that people will go through to get into the fair for free. When I was 15 or 16, I tried to get into the fair for free all the time, but somewhere around my 40s or 50s, I decided maybe I ought to just pay. So if we don't have paid employee, county employee designated by the finance department being part of that office, it might be kind of a crowded feeling that, who's watching who, and I'm uncomfortable with you here and I'm uncomfortable with you here, but it's Dunn County taxpayer money. It ain't the fair's money. It isn't the Dunn County's money. It's the taxpayers' money. And we need we need to know where that money comes in, who counts it, should be county employee a part of it, and, um, you know, my wife told me not to be speechy, so I've already did that. Shit. Okay, so that's my only opinion on your financial liaison or whatever you want to call it, I think really needs to be a county employee.
So Austin, or I don't know who I would ask on this, so like option two, like where the county would supply a treasurer, like you have an idea on like how much availability would they have? What would our cost be, you know, to have somebody there to do it? You know, it doesn't need to be nailed down, but like a
Yeah,
ballpark.
we kind of just went through a lot of what she's already doing for the fair when it comes to accounts payable and accounts receivable, and looked at around 150 hours a year, kind of like it was used to get paid out, not for the treasurer, but for the liaison of the fair itself. It was around 4,300 back in 2021. So it's hard to tell, you know, with if we're going with different processes and card readers and stuff like that and how things are gonna go. But a rough estimate, I think for year one would be $5,000 on an annual period. You divide that out over an annual period. And I don't know what we would do for the second and third person involved through the weekend or stuff like that, but maybe we allocated some of that money towards the, extra help for the weekend.
But-
That sort of, but
But if we go to like a card reading system, that all gets,
if it was a full cashless event, yes, yeah. It would help with a lot of that, yeah.
And then that would give it, you know, that the county treasurer would come to all of our meetings and give us updates on, not that there's a lot of, but that'd be the whole year, everything, right?
And then the liaison would be a board member that would, I'm assuming
Yep.
that would be in contact with Mercedes quite often about money coming in, money going out, what's being, paid for, what's not being paid for, and correct?
Correct. Yeah, what do we have in this area budgeted for the year? What do we have in that area? That sort of
Yeah.
thing. And then, but, being at the monthly meetings, be a big help. Take some liability off the fair as well.
well, we got that to think about. Okay, go to the elections.
Okay. Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry. So, um, I'm wondering if it would make sense to, um, add another office, for like a coordinator position, which would do like all, I mean, on that list of things that I gave you guys, there's like 42 things on there that, and some of them can be parsed out, but to take care of like a fair entry and the state reporting and all of that kind of paperwork, to, even take it one step further, like a lot of that other stuff that I do, as an, position. It could be, one of the fair board members, and I'm just, thinking ahead, and a lot of fairs are structured that way, that they have somebody that does all that piece, that handles all of the paperwork. Just food for thought.
Maybe that gets added to what the secretary does or something like that.
Well, no, with that list of the 40 things that I think all of us in this room, I agree with you too, Deb, but we all have our own talents and stuff that you can make phone calls going down the road. I know fair entry and that stuff, I have no idea, don't want, but I think as a fair board, you could probably split some of those responsibilities out and get them taken care of too, so.
Uh, Number 3, elections, officers, shall elect annually at the September annual meeting. We're in the bylaws right now. Um, Obviously, there's some positions that didn't exist before that would be in here that I would think at the end of this, going through this, that would be something you'd like to vote on.
Yeah, I just want to go through it line
Yep.
by line,
Okay.
and we'll come back and
Okay, we'll
we'll,
keep going then.
yep.
Meetings, regular meetings, the board shall meet monthly with additional meetings as needed. At the Dunn County Government Center where meetings shall be recorded in accordance with the Dunn County policy. I think this works pretty well too with, if anybody comes in, if there's space for people from the public. And, we can fit in here. And, but this is, yeah, these are your bylaws. Okay, number 2, annual meeting. The board's annual meeting shall be held in September, at which time the following business will be conducted: election of officers, review of the most recent fair, setting of goals and planning for the next year. Number 3, special meetings. You can stop me at any point if anything wants to get changed, but special meetings may be called by the president or by request of at least 3 members. Number 4, notice and agendas. Meeting agenda shall be posted in compliance with Wisconsin Opens Meeting Law and no less than 24 hours prior to the meeting unless an emergency exemption applies. Number 5, recording of meetings. All board meetings shall be audio recorded and video recorded when feasible to ensure accuracy of records. And recording shall be maintained by the secretary in accordance with county record retention policies. A quorum. Number 6, majority of the currently appointed members constitutes as a quorum. Number 7, voting, each member has 1 vote. Decisions are made by a majority of those present. Article 6, committees. Oh, okay, go ahead.
So like, when it says for the quorum, a majority of the current, so is that like we have to have a minimum amount of people there? So like,
If there's 9 people on the committee, you need 5 to hold a meeting.
okay, just wanted to make sure that.
Article 6, committees. The board may establish committees, example, livestock, entertainment, sponsorship, finance, grounds committees to carry out specific duties. Committees operate under the authority of the board and report to it. Committees shall make recommendations to the full fair board for a vote. Article 7, reporting and finances. The board shall manage revenues and expenditures related to the Dunn County Fair within budgetary framework approved by the Dunn County Board of Supervisors. The treasurer shall coordinate with the Dunn County Finance Department on deposits, disbursements, and reporting. Number 3, the Fair Board shall present an annual report to the Dunn County Facilities Committee at its September meeting, summarizing the operations, activities, and outcomes of the most recent fair. Article 8, conflict of interest. Members must disclose conflicts of interest and abstain from voting on related matters. No member shall use their position for personal gain, and all members of the Fair Board must comply with the Dunn County Chapter 4 Ordinance Code of Ethics. Article 9, amendments. These bylaws may be amended by a 2/3 vote by the board members present at any regular meeting, subject to review and approval by the Facilities Committee. Article 10, parliamentary authority. Meetings shall be conducted according to Robert's Rules of Order, newly revised except where inconsistent with these bylaws or county policy. And then Scott and
Austin, do we need to give the county a copy of the bylaws yearly for the county to approve of or anything? From the county standpoint?
I think if this is approved, it's approved for the duration until any amendments
Okay,
you would
anytime we make an amendment, then
goes
we
to
have to. send-
facilities on
Okay.
our agenda at
Yep.
facilities and then up the ranks. And then Troy and Scott, this just switches, for your term expiration. With that being voted on and.
They got voted on.
Yeah, that's what he's saying, he's gotta change.
It did. Yep, yep.
So there, these should be 2028.
Correct, yep. Yep. But, we just pulled in the data from a PDF that we had when we put this together, but yep, that's all back in our minutes from July,
Okay,
on the agenda for July.
any board members have anything to say about that? Otherwise, I think the right option would be probably going for a vote on your elected officers. And then we can, depending on how it goes, we can make the correct adjustments to the treasurers or go that route, correct? We'd have
Adjustments
to, yeah, so we'd have to vote president, vice president, secretary, and then on the vote on the treasurer, we'd have to, that way we can,
Yeah,
Right,
you
the
can,
president's probably done already.
you can elect the treasurer from, among the appointed Fairboard members, or we designate a Dunn County employee for that role as well. There are two options that we laid out here.
Can I make a nomination? Are we at that point?
Well,
Yeah.
I think you probably need to approve the bylaws.
Yeah, I approve the bylaws.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're probably ready for it.
Well,
Yeah, yes. It's well, I guess the first thing would be, approving all of the bylaws, but also that treasurer position, if you agree with all of the rest of those positions. Yep.
we had the vote and then go back and approve them or how, that's what I was getting at.
But I think there's two options as treasurer, so I think you can approve the bylaws. And
Okay.
then we decide what option we want, cause you got
Yeah.
A and B for options of treasurer.
Yeah, yep.
When would we make a decision on whether we move to add a member or not? Because the treasurers would be, what we were talking about would be a non-voting member, correct? Or not?
Correct.
Yeah. So when do we make the decision? I mean, do on the bylaws. I mean, we don't have to do it tonight, but
We've had an open spot for, I mean, because we've always been able to have 8 people, so we've had an open spot for a while. For over 2 years, since Jeff came on, we've had, before Jeff and Nick came on, we had a couple open spots. And they just filled those. We still have one open.
but shouldn't our bylaws indicate that we are intending to add a position, voting member?
I think it's already on,
Oh.
it's already in there. I would just say, that we've never added the extra because we've kinda got by
Got it.
with what we had.
Okay,
they would have.
When that was originally set up, Larry, with the county, they suggested that we try to hold it where it was unless we found that we needed extra help. That was the direction that
Okay.
was given to
got it.
us from whoever the county manager was at the time, probably Paul.
I will make an emotion to approve the bylaws.
Can I get a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
No, discussion.
Oh, sorry.
Roy Steinmeier made the motion.
Don't turn off. Jeff Eckert. I second it.
Discussion?
Yeah, I got a question. And I guess this is going to come to Mercedes, because she's the one who would be in that role as the treasurer, correct? As of right now? If we go with this and we have just, if she is the effective officer and you would be the one in that role right now, as long as you're there. Do you see any issues with yourself being in that role? I mean, I was trying to figure out how to ask this question. It's not sure how to, do you have any issues being in that role, helping out, and any concerns that you see being in that role or anything?
I already pretty much do it now. I
Okay,
sell the payments and everything,
Okay.
so it's,
that was my question. I didn't know if it would be an issue or something that would be, I don't know what the right word or term is, but you know, if it'd be something that you're like, oh man, it's not gonna work for some reason or anything like that. Okay.
Okay, all in favor, aye? Oh,
That was it. That was my
any
question.
further discussion? Okay, all in favor then?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Okay, well. All right, we're gonna go to vote.
Troy Steinmeier would like to nominate Scott Byer as vice president.
Larry Bjork, second.
Any other nominations?
Maybe ask a few.
Any other nominations? Gotta say it 3 more. Any other nominations? Scott, do you accept?
Yes.
Yeah, all in favor? We did that, right? Close nominations? All in favor? Scott, you're vice president.
Is the,
Oh, no.
no, is the finance liaison, is that gonna be a voted on position or is that just going to be something?
That's who we designate.
Right, but on ours, on the Fair Board, we're gonna have I thought we were gonna have, I thought the way I read it was that, yes, the fairman is going, right, we're gonna, you know, have someone that corresponds with Mercedes on a regular basis. Right.
Of their board members.
Yes.
To be cohesive of.
Right.
Yeah.
Is that going to be a voted on position or is that just going to be a position? That's my question.
Whatever you'd like to do.
That's what I'm asking everybody is like, is this like, do we technically vote for a treasurer, but that treasurer is just going to be working with the county treasurer to do everything? Or is it just going to be, okay, whoever wants to be the liaison to the treasurer gets to do that?
Well, I think as of the way it has been done is that basically now Mercedes does all the treasury work for us. It's just that we had to leave somebody bringing the money there.
Right, but in
so.
our bylaws, we have a finance liaison, and I'm asking,
Right.
is this going to be a voted on position? Or is this just going to be one person that wants to do it within the board?
I would say it should be a vote.
it could just be your president too.
Okay,
Like,
that's,
you know, like
yep,
how we go back and forth.
yep,
you know.
that's what I'm asking. I'm just trying to figure out if this is going to be a voted on position, if it's just gonna be someone that does it, or so that we know who that person is, and then we know that there are the ones that when financial issues come up, that's who we go to.
I would say if, as long as it's within the fair board, I would think we're okay. If it's outside the fair board, you know, the liaison, then it should probably be voted on. If that makes sense.
Nope.
Well, no, so let's say if the fair board's doing it, right, but say.
Well, we have to, someone from the Fair Board has. to
Right, but
be
we could
liaison.
also, in the past, we also appointed somebody that was outside the fair board to do that also, right? That's how it's been done the last how many years that the fair board had other people.
Yeah, but
counting the
in our
money.
bylaws, it says a Fair Board member.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay, that
that's
is no
what I'm
more.
asking, so that
Okay,
has
perfect.
nothing to pertain with it.
In this, it does say that you need a finance liaison if the treasurer is going to be a county official. If I'm reading this right. Yeah,
Yeah, that's the way I read it.
yeah, yeah.
Is that if the treasurer is from the county, one of us has to be the liaison, and that's why I was just trying to get some direction of who that's going to be, if it's someone that we actually have to vote on, or if we just say, okay, the president is going to be the liaison, and if we're all good with it, I don't care, I just. Right, well, that's what we got, that's what I'm trying to discuss, I'm just trying to get some. Well, it doesn't say we have to vote on anything,
Somebody from the board.
I'm just trying to figure out who that person is, and if it's,
probably be written.
well,
Matt,
we
you-
I think it could be,
don't have to vote on.
You could vote on it in the treasurer area
Right, that's,
with the rest of them.
right, I'm just trying to figure out if like, if someone, if if it's something different from another position, or if the president or vice president or secretary can do both, that's what I was trying.
Yeah.
To wonder.
I think you have the option. But either way.
Okay, secretary position. We talked about, getting a younger member in here to take notes. Is that something, or trying, I guess? Is that something you guys agree on? Or,
I think it's a great idea.
this person's not here, but maybe her dad could ask, but I'd nominate Ann Byer for secretary.
Oh, yeah, I'd second that in a heartbeat. And Buyer.
Well, she would want
Fair.
to be on the fair board if she were gonna be secretary. So I mean. Yeah, it's not. So I mean, if you're going to nominate her to go on the fair board, she would be the secretary, but she's not gonna just want to come in and just take notes.
I'd like to amend it then and saying that, two family members can't have, how would I say that? Two family members can't only have one vote. That way, if we have a board of not, guess this, I'm just saying in general, if we have 5 family members on here and they all run the board, it gets pretty squirrely. That's all I'm saying. So that family member would get 1 vote. She can be on here, but you and her only get a vote. I don't know how to write that on there, but does that make sense, Mercedes? Okay.
We'll find out who the good board member is real fast.
Well, sorry, I created where do you amend that?
Well, no,
I didn't catch that earlier. I just thought about it now when we were going through things. Is that something we can simply do to amend it?
I think we just take care of that in October
Yeah,
with a action item
yep,
and it just gets voted on.
perfect. All right, so secretary is done, so treasurer, sorry, I probably screwed up.
The nomination, I think it needs to be called out 2 more times for any more nomination.
Any more nominations for secretary? Any more nominations for secretary?
And it was second.
Yep.
Yeah.
Larry seconded it. Discussion?
I guess my discussion is I wanted to nominate him, but since she's not here and can accept it, can we have her come back in the October meeting and see what she has to say? Just table it,
Mhm.
if that's. Well, right, I just wanted, I wanted to make the nomination, but I want her to have a chance to make a choice at it, and I don't think it's something that need to decide tonight, but I think it's somebody that I'd like to have on the board or part of the board. So if we can table it until October.
Make a motion to table it? Oh, okay.
Do some of that first. I'm sorry, Gary.
Well,
Turn your. How do we do this?
You'll have to either.
What you do is it's already been seconded, if you table it, you gotta vote no.
Yeah.
I move to lay the motion on the table until the next meeting. I move to postpone this motion until the next meeting.
I move to postpone this motion till the next October meeting. Troy Steinmeier.
Jeff Eckert,
Seconds required. When to table a motion if the board isn't ready to decide yet, if more information is needed, if the discussion needs to be postponed to a future meeting.
Say second.
Jeff Eckert, I'll second it.
Any debate
any more discussion?
and voting is required for a simple majority.
For it to be tabled? Okay,
Aye.
Aye.
okay. Motion carries. Table till next meeting.
Yeah. Secretary
Man,
records
we
it
got
as
through
a
that.
motion duly made and seconded. The board voted to postpone. Okay.
Treasurer's position. But is there any nominations for that?
I'm wondering if we discuss this as a group, so we don't have to table, is it table and do like what happened last one?
We can discuss anything. Just don't-
Right, I think we make, yes, can we have some discussion on it instead of? Well, my biggest thing is like just making sure that when the money comes in, to the county, that it make sure that all the money that comes through the fair actually shows that it came through the fair. That I know in the past that stuff, and if we do all cards, it's different, right? It can all come in, but how do we track or how do we know that when this money's coming in, that some money doesn't get put under something else within the county during that time?
I think what he's asking is, are you guys tracking it if we go to the card system? Is that something? Oh, sorry.
But I'd even say if it's a cash deal, right? Either way, how do we know, like, you can have a breakdown every day for us, hey, this is what came through Gates, this is what Carnival, all that stuff, are we gonna get a breakdown every day, so we can kind of say, hey, well, this is maybe not right, we need to look into this or whatever.
Yes.
And there is policies and procedures through Dunn County cash handling policy that would be followed. If it is a county employee, they're held to the county standard.
Any more discussion? Okay. Do we want to vote on a treasurer if we're uncomfortable with that? All right, any nominations for a treasurer?
I'd nominate Troy. My friend Troy from the Willing Workers 4-H Club area.
Decline.
So if we designate the Dunn County Finance Department to take care of our treasurer duties, we don't actually have to nominate. Or, right, we just have to have a,
That liaison.
R-
Nominate.
well, we decided that we don't really have to nominate that person either. Or John, are we changing our mind on that? I thought that was something that we talked about. It could be the president, vice president. Anyone could
Yep.
do that. We don't, it's not a really voted on position. So technically, I'm just trying to read, now that we have bylaws go through our by our bylaws is if we choose to designate the county to take care of it, we just have to, someone just has to make a motion to designate the county to take care of it.
Mr. Chairman, I rescind my motion.
It died, Larry.
Am I wrong? Just making sure that everything is done correctly. I make a motion that we designate the county to, that we designate the Dunn County Finance Department or facilities staff member to take care of our treasury duties. Motion made by Scott.
Is there a second?
I'll second it, Jeff Eckert.
Discussion?
I think we're making great progress. I mean, I really do. And, group of people can sit around the table and we can put our minds together and come up with making something better. And, maybe find out where our flaws have been in the past and correct them. And I think that's exactly what we're doing. So kudos to Fairboard tonight.
Any more discussion? Vote. All in favor? Motion carries, or no, all in favor, nay, no? Okay, motion carries.
As long as you're still on the, since we just decided that, are you going to be our liaison? Do you want someone else to do that? I mean, do you have,
I would suggest that it would be the president or vice president of the fair board. Cause say Derek's not around and they show up, and I think between the two, the president and vice president, they should be able to take care of it.
that's what I'm asking. Are you able to take that responsibility on too, or no?
I'll say again, the president and vice president should be in charge of this.
It's gotta be one person. You can't have two people doing one job. It's gotta be one person so that we know that when there's an issue, this is the person that you go to.
So my only thought is having two, because say, what if Derek's not there that day? Are we just not gonna have a liaison or whatever that day then, or what?
That's that day, so if Derek's not there, she's gonna go through her treasury report and that's all it is. The liaison is the person that's going to be talking to her about other things. It's not about her reports. It's going to be, okay, we got a donation. Make sure that that gets to Mercedes and then that it gets earmarked for the right spot. And okay, we need to go sign up a band. How much money is left in our band budget? That's what that liaison does, is talks to Mercedes about what money is left in what budget, so we know what to spend so that we're not overspending.
Now I understand correctly.
So I will ask you one more time, Derek. Is that something that you want to take on? Because if you want to do that, I'm fine with just having the president do that.
I'd like to delegate it to Scott as the vice president.
That's fine. I believe that we need to have someone that's in charge of that so that everybody knows that it is what it is. Yep. That's fine.
You're all right with accept it?
Correct. Yes, sure.
Okay, anybody want to second that, or we don't have to? Scott, you're the liaison. Okay. Good luck.
I'm turning it off now.
Changing.
Yeah. I'll give you Austin's number.
So, consideration of reports, resolutions, ordinance recommendations to the county board.
So one thing that after the last Fairboard meeting, we did a little research. And the research went a lot farther, that we obviously still need to vote on it, but the research went a lot farther
No, go ahead.
than what we thought. But we actually, if we want, we have Chris Cruzy coming Thursday night of the fair, and he is 100% sponsored, so he would cost us absolutely nothing to come to the fair. So we would just have to obviously talk about it as a group, vote on it, but I think it's something I think he needs to be paid by a certain date to hold that spot. And I did talk a little bit and I kept it all open to change anything right as of yet, but I did talk to the raceway about moving their races from, that Thursday night and doing their races like Friday and Saturday. And obviously, if we would do that, they were more than happy to move the races. And they would actually bring in like the outlaws, or they're gonna try to bring in some big,
draw.
yeah, some big name people, and that would,
How soon, when does he need to know by?
it's that,
You said what?
that he, according to his agent, wants a check or money the 27th of this month to hold them, correct, Eric?
Yeah, but I'm asking,
Of this month, so. So we don't have the budget approved yet, do we?
The budget is approved by the facilities committee of last meeting. Yeah.
This was a donation.
Yeah, right, but this is a donation, so how does that work with money? Because because it would have to be a donation that would come into you, and then you would have to write a check out, right? But is there any issues? Because that doesn't, but I guess where I'm going with the budget is, so it's going to be out on a racetrack, correct? Where is he going to?
So our thoughts, this can be all discussion, right?
Right,
Where
that's
we're
what
gonna
we're
put them,
talking about.
yeah, so it can all be discussion. I think the main thing is getting him booked so we don't lose him.
Well, what we
And
need to look at our budget and say, where are we gonna put them? What's it gonna cost us for chairs, benches, tents, and all that? Sound, everything
he
that we
provides
need,
all that.
but
I-
like a tent,
but
that's
we
why I
need to-
asked where he's
Right,
going.
but we need to find out, she has all the notes, what bands and what have you. So we need to find out that information before we go further, I think. Not saying it's a bad idea, I'm just saying, this is the information we need from her, bring to us to find out what is already dealt with, so we can deal with those bands going forward if there's something we vote on. So Deb, do you wanna say who you?
Yep, I've got,
And what night?
hang on.
It's just discussion, so we know what bands we have to move around, what we already agreed to. You know,
Well, you're talking the
Right.
grandstand, so it'd be
Right.
different.
we're talking the actual like bands. Do we have anybody like the Bear Creek? There you
Yep.
go. Do we have like the Bear Creek band already?
Yes, I
Right.
talked to them already at the fair or before, they had contacted me actually before the fair, so, they
That's all.
are. They're Saturday night again. And this is all going over to, Sophia now, it has to go to her. They're Saturday night, let me see, Tucker Baker, I just want to make sure, HGT is Wednesday night again.
Are these already, they're not paid yet, right?
Oh, no,
Is
we
the
don't pay them
contract-
till next
Okay,
year.
is there a contract, I guess, signed? Is the
No,
right-
not yet. It's Jay just sent me the one for Bear Creek because shoot, wrong one. They waited till after the fair. Tucker Baker would like to come back. I talked to them. They would be Friday night. Nothing was even talked about for Thursday night yet. And Wednesday night was HGTV band.
Who
Eight-
were the
oh.
3 girls? They were really good.
Boots and Bling. And they would come back. Also, there's a one that, I gotta get hold of Nick because he recommended somebody too, but I don't know if I have the right name because when I looked them up, I didn't think that would be a real good fit for us, but it might be, I might not have the right name.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Is there, okay, go ahead for discussion. Sorry, I just wanted to get what we already had, if we had anything under contract.
And so like, I talked to Mercedes a little bit, like on the financial end, on how, and obviously we gotta get a check to them, and I think their meeting's on the 24th. To be able to approve it or do whatever they have to do on their end, right? And so we basically have to ask probably his agent to hold, say if we could, if as long as we know that the county can get them a check by, or money by this date, as long as we can tell them that date by the 27th, I think we'd be okay, but that's why I wanted to talk about it a little bit tonight, cause I think it'd be a pretty cool.
So, where would we put them?
So my thoughts, right, cause I wanted it to be a little more.
One second.
One more comment.
Yeah,
Sunday, the memories, I forgot.
yeah, but what about this, are we the iHeart,
High Heart, yep.
thing?
Yep.
Are we committed to that, or how does that work?
That's part of our sponsorship. They do do a lot of our advertising and then they get the naming rights for the free stage.
Okay.
It's part of, because they give us a chunk off of our, like a big chunk off of our sponsorship.
So remember
Or-
that.
Would this Chris Cruzy contract be for the next budget or would it be this year's budget?
I would say it would be this, but it would really probably have to hit the budget just because it's 100% sponsored. So it's just basically money in, money out.
Thursday night.
And yeah,
It's open.
It's open.
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
So like,
If it's open, that's when you.
Yeah, I think he's just asking if it's gonna hit the 2025 annual budget or not, but if it's money in and if we paid the down payment, it got reimbursed for the down payment to be a net wash. And then if we paid the remaining balance in 2026 and got paid that in the donation, it'd be a net zero wash in 26 as well.
and so, so dollar wise, we, like by the 27th or whatever, it's $5,175 that we would have to have to them by the 27th.
Or,
If
Or
they're,
we can say, hey, we can have you this money
yeah.
by that
the
day.
October meeting, something.
yeah, or if there was if there was a sponsorship agreement set up ahead of time where it was signed by both parties, and I think the county would be comfortable with fronting it for the 20 days, 30 days, whatever, till that came in,
Yeah,
as long as there was a signed agreement.
I think that signed agreement, we can probably get done ahead of time.
Do we get it? Where do we get the signed agreement from? We get it from you guys, I would assume? The form?
It wouldn't have to be a form, it would just have to be like a, just general contract. Just two names, the dollar amount, and.
Are you providing it, or you want us to provide it, I guess?
You write on a piece of.
Yeah, you have to provide it.
Or or
No,
Doug's got a generic sponsorship contract that we send out, however that.
We can make one too. It's
Yeah.
not that hard.
Yeah.
Deb, when was the memories again? Thank you.
So back to your question, Scott, and this is just my thought on it. Is what, and I could be completely wrong or whatever, but how I imagined it is the back fifth wheel trailer right up along the Brandon,
the Miller.
Brandon Miller thing. And then that way he would be facing like towards the carnival. and you just turned all your benches the other way and you just opened it up for, a free for all, you can have benches or whatever there, or, you could have blankets or however, I don't know if we really need to provide seating depending on what we charge to get in the gate or there's so many things that you gotta talk about it. I think the main thing that I had for tonight is just getting it voted that we wanted to do that on Thursday night so we can move forward and the rest of this we can figure out on a later day.
Charged,
That, I think that's something that we needed to discuss as a group.
I said, are we gonna charge to see them? So we can make,
Right,
Well,
but you're not gonna be able to charge extra if we have them on
Right,
the
and
food court.
the only thing I thought like was in the grandstand, this is just my opinion with the grandstand, it's not as personal. You got that fence in between you and all that stuff. Yeah, you can set them up down there on the racetrack, but I don't know, I almost thought of using the pit area and all that stuff for parking. And you know what, if we try to get the vendors, the food trucks and that stuff out as far as you can and.
There won't be, if you could, so,
Well,
looking at our numbers last year, we had roughly 1,000 people at, tractor pull. If you have Chris Cruzy, you're probably gonna have more people than that. They won't all fit in there. I don't know if there will be enough room. And that's where I know you wanna get this voted on, but I wanna have some discussions to make sure that this works.
It's whenever he plays, his comments were, it's personal. It's not up on his, it's down, like she was mentioning, the iHeart stage, whatever. That's the,
Yeah,
It's-
when we talked to him, it was basically that he does not want,
he'd rather keep it.
yeah, he does not want a fence in between him and his people. He
okay, I
wants
have
to-
one little quick thought, these folks. Right across from my house is that open field where the used to be. Could we not make that? We can move the parking somewhere, make that all, because you're gonna have a lot of people come to this. This would be a perfect spot, put them up against there and it would be great for them. Just thought.
And some of it is too, is like. How many do you, and again, this comes for later discussion. I think it's a good problem to sit here and go, well, man, we're not gonna be able to fit them all in there. Well, you know what, if everybody, and this is for later discussion, well, if it's just $5 to walk in the gate, well, if they don't get close to them and don't get to see them, well, it's $5 to get into the fair, or if you charge that more at the gate after a certain hour, it's kind of, hey, if you get there this is stuff that's run through my head for the last two weeks, right? Or that, and Derek and I've talked about a little bit is that, hey, you charge the $5 until 5 o'clock, and then after 5 o'clock, it goes to $10 for the night, hoping that the people that were there before 5 would go to the food court and, spend some money and we can capture a little bit of that money, some of that extra money that way, but this is all.
Make it work. Easy.
How about this? You didn't pay to have him come in.
Right.
Everything that you're gaining should be profit and.
Right. And that's why it's up to the board. It's like, it's pretty cool that we had a business, that we're.
I just want to make sure that it's something that we can take on and that we don't, even though it's free money, that we don't get the donation and it's just a complete disaster. That's why I want to have some conversation before we say, let's do this.
And I think if that food court area and maybe, that food court area or maybe where that other food truck was, the big girls or whatever, I don't know. I think if we have that whole area packed, but
Yeah, when we talked about this a little bit before, a few other ideas were just a bigger beer tent. And then idea that came to mind just now too was I think there's easily enough space from the years that I've done staging for companies and stuff to put the stage in front of the grandstands before the fence, and that would be pretty intimate and personal too. And you wouldn't be worried about seating. You could charge a little bit extra, that sort of thing, and you'd still have your entrance and exits. But you think about how the grandstands are in those setbacks from where those middle steps are to go down, those little islands, step islands. you bring the stage all the way to the front of those, there's easily enough space. If a lot of those 4-piece bands, if they can fit on a flatbed fifth wheel, there's way more depth there than that.
Yep, but
So-
the only thing
yeah.
is that we already have sponsorship of iHeart, so we gotta include them. As, or they're just don't care where they go.
They're free state.
Okay, never mind.
Thank you. When we had music before, we had the stage set up more at the back of the track, and then we rented chairs and put them on the track, and we sold them as premium seats. And then anybody could buy like the general admission, and then they were in the grandstand, and those were much, much cheaper. They were like $10 or whatever in there because of that fence. And then they weren't allowed down on the track to see that part. That's just an option that's how we did it before out there. And it'd be great if he's donating this and we can make it work and put it in the grandstand where we can actually earn some money instead of doing it free for people. That's just my opinion.
No matter where we put it.
Mhm.
Get it figured out.
And my thing is, I just want that, I wanted like, probably one of the funnest nights I had at the fairgrounds is, and I know you were a part of it, Scott, but trying to find a place to park somebody. To have an issue, you know, I want that issue of where do we park this person, right? You know, we can talk to the schools, but.
Ron wanted to talk. Go ahead.
Well, I seen Chris Cruzy down in downtown Glenwood City at the Rustic Lore Days, and there was no limited space for a crowd. So I think whatever happens, you can make room. You know,
It was packed. You couldn't
What
even
happens if
move up
we-
there, but
Did it somehow so that he'd actually be out in the back parking so that people could sit on the hill? Cause you can't park on the hill anyways.
And I also.
And that way you could face it and do something, you could do some seating like Deb said, so up front so that we could have some reserved seating that you could charge $20 for.
Right. Yeah, and
And then somebody, you know, so that his back would actually be towards
the carnival.
the carnival. So if you actually wanted to see him and we'd have to do some roping. That's what I question, you know, like. So, you know, that's why I was trying to, cause our budget I know is gonna be tighter this year than it has been in the past is.
There's some things we gotta go over yet, but this
Right,
is,
But that's why I was wondering, so like,
right.
you know, so all of a sudden we need 200 chairs. What's 200 chairs gonna cost to rent? Is that even
And the 200 chairs, I can probably get that donated from the map committee, or the same place we get that.
you know, 200, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
we can make this work.
That's why I just wanted to talk
Yep.
about it before we voted on it.
Yeah.
So we-
And my first thought, to be honest with you, like where you said in the part where they park up there, I thought of that, you know, that was my first thought, but then it's like, okay, then you take up a bunch of parking, but we can talk to the schools, so there's a million options, I think.
But if there's no racing, they're not gonna race on, but if they don't race on Thursday, then we can use there, but.
We can use the pits, then, yeah.
So you talk to racing, what happens? So if we don't do, you know, cause that's the other thing is we have to think about. So if Chris Cruz is on Thursday, would you really want the races going on? No,
Yeah,
They're not gonna be.
they won't go
Well-
Thursday.
So is racing gonna be okay if they only have racing one night during the fair?
The discussion with racing is, and this is, we're you know, kind of moving, but they would have Friday and Saturday.
I guess I'm not willing to say we're not doing a tractor pull on Saturday yet.
Well, that's what we're discussing about
Right,
Thursday.
that's why my question is racing
We're-
gonna be okay if they only get one race during the fair?
I think they will be. I think they will be based on my discussions with John about how tough it is to get that Thursday night full enough to make it pay for them. And if they have one big race on Friday,
Yeah, he said that same thing to me too, with it's hard to break even on Thursday and then.
So is this something that we want to, that we can take a vote on tonight to at least get Chris on the docket?
I make a motion that we have Chris Cruzy at the 2026 fair and that hopefully somehow you get the donation and we get them paid here soon enough. That was made by Scott.
I second it, Jeff Eckert.
Discussion?
I just have one question. Would we still, what time? Because I'm thinking we could find a band that would back up then when, if, for Thursday night, we could put a band on the free stage yet. For all those people that are there when he's done with his concert and start a band, like, what time were you thinking for Chris? Like 7?
It plays for 2 75-minute sessions
Okay.
and you can, I want to say it was 7 o'clock. Nick's not here to go over that, but that's
Yep.
what I remember.
That would be.
Could
my
we
assumption,
bump it
start
to
at
6?
Yeah, I'd start them at 7 and,
It's-
yeah, that's a great idea. I think
Yeah.
if we can bring in another band to have on the free,
Free
because there's gonna
stage.
be people there.
Exactly. Keep them there to drink more beer and
Right.
food. That's my thought.
Well, yeah,
But that's where we get into another discussion about how we go forward with paying for, okay, so discussion, any other discussion? Thank you. No, all in favor? All opposed? Okay, Chris is coming Thursday of the fair. Okay, there was, it was you. Did you want to you were mentioning now, we can kind of get into that about, yeah, tractor pull or the races or your discussion on that. Scott.
What is our budget?
So, so we gotta go, Austin, do you have the numbers on the whole tractor pull?
No, not what is our budget?
For next year?
What is our
The
total?
grandstand budget for next year is 40,000.
Grandstand budget.
Right. And in talking with, we can change it up to not make it quite as expensive. We can drop it to 1 track. Granted, might take longer because we won't have the 2 tracks going. The other thing is, this year I had all Grand National classes. We could put a couple state classes in there, which would reduce the cost. That $3,000 sponsor that was for the tractor pull, told me to contact him next year. He still wants to sponsor, but we have no guarantee of what the economy is coming, or what's happening with the economy. So there are different options that would eliminate, a sled. So we save $2,200 there, right off the top.
I guess my thoughts on this in the discussion is that the last 3 years, we've lost a fair amount of money on this tractor pull. And if we can put the risk on the speedway of them bringing in like the Outlaws or something big like that to take it off our plate, to take that financial off our plate, because I would kind of like the county to say thank you and pat us on the back that, hey, we broke even or made a little bit of money and not risk bringing something in that's lost us money the last 3 years.
Can I share something too about fairs in general? I'm sorry, Derek. We are in such a unique situation here, and you guys, I've talked to some of you, all of you before, about how our situation works compared to other fairs that have control of their grounds more all year round. If you look at like the state reports, which I can get for you, almost every fair, if you look at their grandstand, their expenses far exceed their income from ticket sales for those events. They, however, are able to supplement their fair week by doing rentals, off-fair events, and winter storage, and having other things there. So they take in anywhere from like 200,000 to 300,000 in off-fair events and rentals and activities, and have that ability to do that. Unfortunately, we don't have that. So I was looking at like 2024, which finally was released just this week, and I was actually kind of surprised at how many fairs don't make it that week. And you talk to them and they all say they depend on that. But I just wanted to share that for information purposes.
Yeah,
Well,
sorry.
I'd like to do two things with that. We have what we know about the tractor pull, okay? And where we go from there. Is there a way that we can, there was discussion about, you're talking to the races. Is there any way of asking them to come in and talking, just for an ideas, right? I mean, it doesn't hurt to talk to people, to say, what's it? Johnny, you know, if we did this, what does it look like on your end and how does it look for us? And ask them the financials of that and still have it where this is, can be tabled, but still bringing in somebody to talk, and figure out maybe another step rather than
Well,
making them go ahead.
and I didn't commit or say, obviously, because I didn't, we had to talk about this as a board, and John knows that we had to talk
Well,
about this
right,
as a board, but he was actually really, really excited that to do Friday and Saturday, because he thought he could get the racing board or whatever to their ante a lot to bring in like a really big show. And I guess, just my thought is like, I look at everything and it's like, and I get that we don't get to rent things off, but I look at the county's our boss. The boss says, hey, let's break even or make money. I don't wanna bring something in that's a slam dunk that we're gonna make money just to lose it maybe over here. That's my honest opinion is with it, you know.
Two things. Number one, commenting on Deb's comment as far as the use of the facility. By chance, I happened to be at the fairgrounds this weekend and there was the horse pull. And I mean, there was hundreds of people there. And we kind of have to do things differently because we don't have that option of a revenue stream. And to tell you the truth, I also believe that we have given the Grand National, if that's what it is, tractor pull a good look, and it's enjoyed by a steady group, but we cross your finger every time it happens that you come out, and maybe nothing draws more people to the grandstand than having to know who's on the track doing whatever. It doesn't make a difference if it's stock cars and you're rooting for a guy from Boyceville or Elk Mound or Colfax, or when Tommy Nesbeth used to come down from Thunder Bay, he had a following. But the Grand Nationals doesn't bring us anybody that we know who the heck they are. I mean, we get a loud or large doses of sound and black smoke, but I don't know, can you have sound and black smoke and you have, not talking about farm tractors, but is there a state sponsored tractor pulling association where there might be a guy out of Spring Valley or Wamedy or you name it that might bring people to the Dunn County Fair that haven't been to the Dunn County Fair? Because I don't think the tractor pull is attracting any new people. I think the tractor pull attracts the same group of people. And in that kind of logic with the racing association, they have a following. They have people that come no matter what. And a lot of times they have a bad year to get their races in because of weather, and that just makes them more excited for a nice night. So I have no regard at all for the Grand National Tractor Pull. And in fact, when I sit in the food court and listen to the people on the free stage and I see the black smoke blowing up over the building and the sound come rushing in. And I'm thinking, well, the neighborhood here that doesn't like the track sure don't like the track tonight. So that's my opinion on it. I don't need to see it. And if it was a moneymaker, I'd go for it, but it seems to be really iffy. Again, I'm looking out for the taxpayer, believe it or not.
Is it something that we can bring in Johnny? If he's willing to talk to us, would that be an option for us so we have those options going forward? Johnny Johnson?
Yeah, no, Johnny told me after we had this meeting to call him. You know, cause obviously he wants to start moving forward too. He needs to know what's going on to move forward. So I'm guessing our October meeting, I could get John to come in and we could
Deb.
talk.
When does the NTPA need their down payment by?
They'll be sending out the date stuff now. The last poll was this past weekend, so that'll probably be in October that they'll need their date deposit. That doesn't say we have to, it's $500.
Is it non-refundable?
I believe it's non-refundable, although because there's so many people that are after our dates, I could probably get the money back from them if I talk to them. Yeah, so, but I can talk to Greg too. He'd probably extend that if I explained what's going on. Because usually in October that comes.
Cause we could do a tractor pull if we did it smaller for about 25 grand.
Yes, we
Yep,
can go down to
that-
one track
Yep,
and
go down to
go
one
to some
track.
state
Yep.
classes in there.
Bring
Yep.
state classes in there and
Yep.
be about 25 grand.
Yep.
How much do we charge to get into the?
I charged 10 this year just because of
What?
I charged 10 this year because of the economy the way it was and everything, we get 5 at the gate for those people. And
And then who takes the money there?
I contract with with the
the
Racing
racing,
Association.
right?
Yep, and then it comes through our office.
Does anyone know how many people sit in the grandstands? I've asked a couple people and I've never gotten this. Yes.
It's a little over 2,000. We had our highest year was 25,000.
Okay, Little,
They were packed.
little over 2 sit in the stand,
Yep.
then we bring in the bleachers.
Yes. Yep. Yeah, probably. Yeah, about that. And then we had, I was really worried with the economy this year. We charged 15 last year and I got some complaints because it was a little bit hard for families to justify that, husband and wife bringing kids for 10, plus paying 5 at the gate. Because we're basically getting $20 in. And, so talking with John and what was happening with the racing thing, they had cut their prices, so we backed it down to 10.
Like the demolition derby, what would that go under?
That,
Of the fair.
That's all.
oh, that's
The
racing.
Racing covers it, and
Yeah.
the only thing that's between us and the grandstand is the Saturday night tractor pull.
Okay, so the racing will take the revenue from the demolition derby.
Yep.
Okay,
They take that, they take the cost, they take the revenue. And the risk. So that's what's on the table and talking about that and stuff tonight too, is, why you bring people to the fair, or what are you bringing in entertainment is to bring people to the fair to have fun, but what's the risk, what's the reward, and is there a preference?
okay, well, since the track is being kind of prepared for the tractor pull, is the track still the same for the demolition derby as flat? And what would be the chances of on Sunday, like we started the tractor pull in like 1 o'clock or noon, and that only lasts what, 3 hours? And then you have your demolition derby afterwards and they start at 3 or 4? That could be a possibility too.
We couldn't get them on Sunday.
You can.
And racing actually needs more time than that to get there because they have to haul in logs and barriers and dig that track up and muddy it up.
Yeah, and then we'll ask Johnny those great, yeah,
Yeah.
we'll ask John if you guys are right, having him at the next meeting, we can ask him all these questions. And, we just need to know that there's other options out there, and go forward with what we think is right.
Could probably save lots of money if we just canceled the whole thing for 1 year and save up and over 2027.
There's no, it's year to year with it. The goal is to just be a net zero, you know, or not, but, yeah. Yeah, what can you do with, minimizing the most risk?
You know, my thing is, I guess you look at the county and I just want them to, I want to make sure that we're moving in the right direction financially with them, so that way we're not hearing the risk of, hey, there's, what are we doing with the, you know, what are we gonna do with the county fair? I want them to sit there and be happy, you know, I guess I look at them at, that they're our boss and we gotta make sure we do what we need to do to accomplish our goals or their goals.
There's a lot of discussion to be had, on other topics. I mean, tonight was just to get through, what we can have at the next meeting, get through, the bylaws, talk a little bit about, the Chris Cruzy thing and talk about the track. I think we accomplished that. I think that we should move to, is that the right? We're, move to, set our next meeting date. If discussion is, you guys are good, okay. So, um, typically we do it, be the first Thursday of the month, but here we are. We can talk about that. What would make sense? I mean, we were at the third Thursday, we're at the first Thursday, we could do it Tuesday. What, you guys have any preference? On, no. You have any other preference? uh, about a date, a time, like a Tuesday instead of a Thursday or whatever. I know that, wrestling's coming up. I used to, you know, basketball season too. They do a lot of their games on Thursday nights. Friday nights is varsity, that kind of thing, but wrestlers are Thursday nights. I know that takes away, Nick is coaching football, but that takes away from you guys. He had it for Thursday. But I'm just throwing that out there to get these guys, you guys involved. I know that might,
Wednesday would be. You guys go to church on Wednesday. Tuesday I can't come to any meetings. I
No-
either go or
nothing.
go.
okay.
Do Monday.
Also, I can't-
What about a Monday? I know it's
Monday don't bother me.
I shouldn't have to say that. But I mean, we're just trying to get more people involved and I'm just thinking that we're leaving, meetings out there on the table if we have, three of our board members gone, including yourself.
Maybe with Scott, we could do it on Thursday nights at like 8 o'clock. The wrestling duel should be done.
No. Okay. Well, yeah, it's not, so what do you guys, what is? Mondays work well for you guys?
But,
That's
so
why we
that,
get
like,
everybody.
so you guys wouldn't have to be after hours. You're obviously done at 5 o'clock, but we're gonna cut Scott out if we do it during the day, right, Scott? If we did something during the day, you would not be able to be here on them. Right.
That's what. I mean, yeah, does it affect you guys Monday? It's just that Brady, not trying to, just, I mean, it still brings in a member of you guys if we try to Monday and see if we can't. I know it's gonna be a little screwy, but we gotta try something to get, right. Yeah,
Would that make a conflict with other committees then if we changed it on their time?
Mondays.
Like the first, like the first Monday of the month, is that what you're thinking? So that'd be like the 6th?
First, think that would work pretty well too with, if we're trying to bring up ideas, if you can beat that facilities committee meeting that's later in the month. Further ahead you get at that, the more progress you would make before that meeting.
Facilities usually what, the third or fourth week?
The fourth Wednesday of the month.
But agenda has to be out the week prior for facilities, so it has to be out that week prior, third Wednesday of every month. Everything has to be decided and sent out.
But we had discussed last meeting too, that we were gonna try a couple meetings just to try to work through things to set, yeah, get ahead. So anyway, if you guys are good with the October 6th at 5:30, that's the route we'll go.
God, what time do you get?
Later is the better. I work until everything's done.
Who you decide when it's done?
Derek does when it's 5:30 meeting during the middle of the frickin' day.
Well, when Mercedes and I get up way earlier than you do.
You don't get up much earlier than I do.
I beg to differ.
I'm up at 4.
I'm up at 3.
Okay,
So, yeah,
3 o'clock. I guess I got a new goal.
yeah.
Every time you get old, then you get up at 2 o'clock.
That's just,
And 4. And 6.
Okay, make a motion to adjourn the meeting for October 6th at 5. Well, so
ahead.
don't, no,
I just was gonna. I'm gonna email that state report out to you because it's very interesting, just for a point of just conversation. Grandstand income was $4,062,000. Special acts, features and entertainment, $8,835,000. So it just puts it in perspective a little bit when I talk about how important it is to include the different things in there, that it's a huge number. That's statewide, but it's some very interesting reading. I encourage you guys to read it. I will send it out to everybody. I just got it it's usually online on the Department of Ag, but they have not published it for the last 3 years, and I've been asking for it, and I got it today. So I will email it out because it's very interesting information and shows what other fairs are doing and stuff, so. Also, I just want to let you know, I'm still working on attendance. I've been working with the county on a lot of different things. Trying to catch up. I'm working on the attendance reports and I should have those all to you at the next meeting. That's my goal. I was planning on them hopefully tonight, to get that to you. And, didn't quite make it. Otherwise, I guess Derek and I will have to have a discussion here of what I've been working on stuff since the fair about like contract or like the vendor updating all this stuff and fair entry. And if you want me to continue doing that as a board member.
so yeah, so what we're discussing, or what we are gonna discuss going forward is the vendors. I didn't put that on
Yep.
any of this October meeting where there's a few discussions going on, but I feel like we have to talk about the vendors and the contracts, who we have, how that looks. We're gonna talk next meeting. I want to put on the agenda. Well, we tabled this 4 times with the card, Peter. We need to get that. So those are the topics for next time. Yeah, we're gonna put those on the agenda. But the reason why I want to make the other one, there's so much things to talk about. And going forward with the vendors is one of them.
Okay.
I think with what you're saying about the
I'm talking about the food vendors. and
yes,
not
yeah,
commercial.
that's what I'm
Yep.
talking about. Yeah,
Okay.
with their contract stuff
Yep.
is what I was trying to think of.
And then fair entry. I've started working on it and updates to the fair book. Do you want me to I'm
Uh,
assuming we would continue that because
Updates, okay.
I mean, the sooner we can get some of this done now, we can get it done. And I'd
So
like to.
what are
yeah.
you, like,
Fair entry, it's like you have to, there's a whole process of closing out this year
yep,
and then starting next year.
yep,
And there's a whole bunch of back end stuff that has to be done.
okay. What,
So,
yeah, because the next meeting too, I have on there, you guys don't know this yet, but you're learning, is the other thing is the Facebook stuff. We had to decide with that, how we're gonna go forward with that too, because you have all that information right now. So we need to go forward and figure out the best, way that the board feels how we should go about
yeah.
it. So I think for now,
Okay.
is that all right with the board? If for now, can,
Just continue on and
yeah, continue on with the, what did I say?
fair entry.
Fair entries to close it out for the year. That's,
But I think like changes to the fair book, I think that's something we can do about.
right, this is just closing out this year.
Yeah.
Okay, good, good. All right, okay. Now make a motion to,
Just adjourn.
adjourn the meeting, okay, we're adjourning.
I see, this is two different accounts.
Oh, Ron, you and I must have been.
No, that's.
You're upgrading. This chat GPT 5, you're upgrading.
Okay.
Oh.
You're not on the bandwidth faster.
It's not any faster than me doing this.
Just getting her done.
Yeah, but like this will create.
Hard to do anything in that heat though, ain't it? Something. I mean,